Oh, the things we do for curiosity. So after tearing apart my Rocky Talkie speaker microphone the other day, I got the idea to compare it to a typical, inexpensive speaker microphone off of Amazon in this case. And I wanted to see if there was any difference. Turns out there actually is. And let me show you some of the key features. The most important one really has to do with audio quality. Again, you know, this is a big deal for me. If it sounds tinny, if it sounds hollow, it just bothers me. Well, in this case, cheap is definitely, clearly, not nearly as clear. So I did a double-blind study with my son. Totally scientific, 100% repeatable. And I called him from this speaker mic, and then I called him from this one, asked him which one was clearer. Then I switched him around. Asked him which one was clearer, and I did it over and over and over again. And every single time, he said that this one sounded like it was hollow and muffled. Well, I eventually got him to talk into each of the speaker microphones, and he was absolutely right. Then I did a test of the audio quality. I turned the volume all the way up to 10, and this one sounds more rattly than this one. This is definitely clearer. So 2 points already, just based off of pure function. I actually am getting more and more impressed with the Rocky Talkie speaker microphone. I can't compare it to the Motorola because they have a different pin. I can't plug them into the same radios. I'm sure Motorola's fine, so we're actually going to remove that from this. So the first thing that I was astonished with was back here on the back cap. Now they both have vent holes. So for those of you who don't know, in order to make something truly waterproof, you need to keep water out. Sorry, was that a little too dumbed down? But in order to keep water out, you have to be able to keep only air in, but then also adjust for atmospheric pressure. So for instance, I'm at about 800 feet elevation. If I go snowboarding at 6,000 feet elevation, the barometric pressure and all that is going to be different. So each of these have semi-permeable discs that only allow air but no moisture through. This looks to be like a Gore material. You've heard of the Gore-Tex jackets. The weave is so tight that it won't let water molecules through, but it will let air. This is very common even in Motorola's and a few others to have this sort of air baffle. This looks like it's kind of the same thing, but when you take the belt clip off, and you can't focus on that, trust me, that is laminated gauze. I was really shocked by that, meaning if water gets in there, water's going right through. This one, water's going to stay on the outside. The way that the O-rings are put together, I would like to say that this is going to be more robust than this, though they probably both work. I don't know. When we get into the guts of this, both have printed circuit boards and all of the speaker and the microphone attached to the circuit boards. You have your push to talk. This one has an auxiliary speaker output, so you can have an earbud in your ear. It does have some protection. It has capacitors and resistors. For those of you who really want to know about this, go watch BigClive.com or Big Clive on YouTube rather, and he'll talk about what all those mean. But for me, I don't know. I don't care. Actually, I do care. I'm just saying that because I feel insecure. Anyways, when you look at these, you can tell that there is a lot of care that goes into both, but I'm going to say that more care goes into the Rocky Talkie simply because they really wanted to look cool from a circuit board standpoint. When you look at the opposite sides of these, I'm doing a great job, I'm sure. It actually looks like the Rocky Talkie is made to have replaceable elements. These are not cheap. The bill of materials on the Rocky Talkie is definitely more expensive than on this Amazon special. Each one of these connectors, I don't know if they're Molex or not, do cost. But one of the features that I actually found most astonishing was here. This is a waterproof baffle. Now this one is very workable, but this one has an interesting feature. You guys see that in there? That post? That had me baffled for a really long time. And then it hit me. Do you remember those harmonicas we used to make by wrapping wax paper around a comb? That's exactly what this is. You get a lot of noise and it's going to rattle against the inside of this grill. That's going to be annoying. I would bet anything that this post keeps that from happening. That's why this one sounds so much better than that one. It's one little extra step, but it is important. Now let's talk about the microphone. This is the microphone port. This little guy right here is your microphone element. It goes to that. That is all that is necessary for your voice to go into this device. This has a nifty little cutout in there, which doesn't go anywhere. Believe it or not, inside it has a channel for the audio to go from the speaker pad in a channel, see if you can see that, to the microphone. There is nothing in there for the microphone to get direct voice through that hole. That's pretty chintzy in my book. And that explains why the audio coming from this sounds worse than this. So for the extra 20 bucks, I think it's worth going with the Rocky Talkie over the Amazon special. That's just my opinion. I think it'll last longer. Your friends are going to thank you. It's going to sound better. So for what it's worth, I think Rocky Talkie's got it in the bag. Well, that's all I got for you today. Take care. Let me know if you have any thoughts. Have a great one.